Hi everybody, Carrie Peterson with Doggy Bow here, coming to you today to teach you a little bit about grooming. How many of you have seen a white Maltese floating around the ring or in a beautiful picture and you thought to yourself, oh my gosh, I wish my Maltese looked like that? I'm here to help you. I actually have a long history with Maltese. Got my first Maltese in, let me think, my son was just born, so he's 17 now. So I've had Maltese for about 16 years. And I wanted to come to you today. This is Maybelline. She is not all prettied up right now. She's been playing with Isabella. If you can hear me okay, go ahead and give me a thumbs up. Let me know that you can hear me. I like to use these headphones because you can hear it really clearly when I speak, and you don't hear a lot of background noise. So what I'm going to show you today is just some common brushing techniques. I remember when I first started with the Maltese breed, I had a show breeder teach me about brushing and how important it was when you're growing coat to be very careful how you're brushing. And I learned how to demat coats. When you're growing coat on a Maltese, it's very, very difficult for them not to mat. No matter how good the coat is, they still lick and chew their coat, and they still play with each other, and they get matted up. So Maybelline, on a typical day, she will get matted on her feet because she likes to clean her feet like a cat, and she will, as you can see, she has completely messed her top knot up because she plays with Isabella. And she scratches at her face and her top knot. So you see she's a total mess. And this is what a typical Maltese looks like. And I think a lot of times people see the beautiful Maltese in the show ring or in the pictures and they wonder, how could that dog be so perfect? Well, there's a lot of reasons, but today I'm just going to teach you a little bit about grooming. So she's giving me a little bit of love now. So let's get started. So the first thing we're going to do is you want the dog to relax, okay? You want to groom them after they've been playing for a while or they've been outside romping around and they're relaxed, okay? The next thing is, from the time they're a puppy, you want to make sure that you teach them that grooming is something enjoyable, okay? So if they're really wiggly as a puppy, and as a breeder I've seen it, some of them are really high-strung. They're very afraid of the brush, and they're very afraid of, different things. And so you want to make sure that it's a good environment for them. It's a good, fun thing for them. So what you want to do is make sure that you give them a lot of praise, a lot of warm touch, and just give them treats every once in a while they're grooming too. If you're trimming their nails or something that stresses them, cleaning their ears, you want to make sure that you encourage them along the way. So let me see if my laptop is going to work here so that I can answer questions for you guys. Just bear with me here for a minute. Get logged into Facebook here. So, welcome to all of you that are here. Today, I'm Carrie Peterson, and today we're going to be grooming Maybelline. I'm going to be getting some mats out of her hair. Mats are a common thing with Maltese. And so I'm going to show you guys how I get them out. I'm going to get up as close as I can to them. That's why we're sitting at the coffee table here, so you guys can get real close and see how I do it. Okay? So, if you can hear me okay, go ahead and give me a thumbs up. Share this video if you have friends or Maltese friends of yours, or if you're in groups, feel free to share this video. So, let's get started. So the first thing we're going to do is, you can see a top knot is often an area that they will knot a lot. And so what I do is I take the rubber band out. This is band removal scissors. I sell these at doggybow.com. And what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to lift up on the band. You want to make sure that you Don't cut the hair. So you're lifting with the band removal scissors and you're taking the rubber band out, okay? Why are we doing that? Because it's painful and it breaks the hair when you pull it out. So usually she will, push at the top knot, pull on it, scratch at it. That's typical. When they first are puppies and you first started see, it's all knotted up. And when they're puppies and you first start putting top knots in them, it's very common for them to scratch at it, okay? Very common for them to dig at it, scratch at it. You just keep putting it back in, putting it back in, putting it back in. And eventually they get used to it, used to the feeling of the top knot being in their hair, okay? So what we're going to do is we're going to evaluate the top knot, okay? So hers isn't too bad because I brush her, but you can see the knots are at the base it's at the back here. It's all knotted, okay? So the first thing I want to talk to you about is whether or not you should wet the hair. Well, I think there's some debate about that, but I typically like to just maybe mist the hair. So I have some different products here that I'm going to talk to you about. Pure Paws makes some really great products for detangling. This is one of them. It's called Silk Basics Conditioning Spray. And you can spray it on wet or dry coat, and you don't need much of it at all, okay? And it's just going to help to demat and put in anti-static and stuff like that. Ultra Finishing Spray is something you would use if you're grooming a show dog. And it gives the show look. It really makes it look shiny and polished. It has conditioners in it and stuff like that. So if you're wear and tear a lot on the coat, you're grooming a lot, you're ironing the coat, you're brushing and stuff daily, you want to use something like that to protect the coat. If the coat's really dry and you live in a very dry environment, you might need H2O. Okay, H2O is just a mist that I've used quite a bit when I've regrown coat on Maybelline before. And it actually has antioxidants in it, vitamin A. Let's see, it seals in moisture. So this actually has, when you use too much of it, it'll give kind of an oily feel to the coat, which is not a bad thing. The coat slowly absorbs the oil. I use oil in my hair every day, so that's not a bad thing. And then I have my favorite Crown Royal here. Smells really, really good. Has a very strong smell if you're allergic to scent. I don't think that this would be one that you would like. But this is what I use for, she has a really, really bad mat. Instead of just cutting it out or just yanking on it, I'll put this on there. Okay, so first I bathe her. And then I put this on the mat. And as I'm blow drying the mat, I will be brushing this through the mat. And it eventually just makes the mat come out. Okay? So what we're going to do is we're going to start by, this is a pin brush by Pure Paws, and it's got crystals on it. Isn't it pretty? Give me a thumbs up if you like this brush. I made this brush. I put crystals all over. Isn't it cute? Anyway, so they make the pins a little longer for the long-coated breeds. Okay? And all I'm going to do is I'm going to slowly try to work through the mat. I had a sneeze. Okay? And this mat is not that bad on her head. Okay? But let's say she had a really, really deep mat. I would take this slicker brush here and I would hold onto the hair so I'm not going up against the skin. I rest the hair against my fingers and I just kind of work the mat like this. And she has some on her legs, so we'll do those too. But that's pretty much it for her top knot. Then after I've gone through it with the slicker, I'll go back and make sure that I got all the little remains of the mat out. If you're just tuning in, I'm Carrie Peterson with Doggy Bow, and we are grooming Maybelline. And I am going to be working on dematting her today. Dematting is something that Maltese people struggle with. Okay, so the other day let me just put her hair up. I've got my bands here. You can use any kind of bands. I wouldn't recommend a regular rubber band because they will stick to the hair and pull the hair out. So you want to use grooming bands. You can get latex or non-latex. The non-latex ones are the clear bands. I sell those. And I also sell the regular latex bands. Okay, this is actually very simple. I'm just wrapping it around. You don't want to put it too tight because that's when they dig at it a lot, okay? So if you want to have a little poof, you can just pull in the middle of the hair in there. She's got a cute little top knot going on, okay? So after I've got her face done, I move on to the ears. I'm going to move this over so you guys can see. This is a bit tricky. Let me refresh my page. I don't see any questions so far. Okay, so let's see if I can lay down, honey. Okay, so here we are. I'll try pointing this camera down. So the problem is people, get a Maltese and they don't realize how much grooming is involved. And a lot of them want to grow the coat out, but nobody's ever shown them. The breeders are too busy. And typically a pet person likes to have their Maltese running around and playing in the yard and doing all kinds of stuff. So basically, if they want to live a normal life and not be isolated the whole time, they're going to get mats. So matting, dematting is one of the top things that my feedback I've heard and what was submitted to me was that people wanted to know about dematting. So that's why we are doing this teaching today. So right here she has a big mat, okay? You can see it's a doozer. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to first try to go through it with the pin brush, okay? And that's not really working. So then we're going to hold on to the hair behind the mat and I'm going to slowly work on it. I'm just slowly, it's not hurting her because I'm holding the hair so she's not in pain, okay? There. So that was actually a good size mat. And she's got another one behind her ear here. Let me see if I can get this one. If it's too close to the skin, then I might have to bring in a mat breaker, but for a show dog, you wouldn't want to do that, but for a pet, instead of the dog going through all that pain, I'll just use the mat breaker. But as you can see, I'm just barely, you can see the mat behind the ear. They get mats behind their ears a lot and also behind their armpits. See if I can move closer. Okay, so I'm going to hold on to the hair underneath the mat right against the skin because I don't want it pulling on her. And I'm just slowly working on it. You can, if it's real staticky, you can mist it a little bit. But if it gets wet, it's not always the easiest to get out, depending on the type of coat and stuff like that. It's not the easiest to get out either. So you see how I'm pulling the mat apart with the brush, and then I'm going to the root of it. So I pull it apart, kind of like when you're rolling dough. You push it, and then you roll it, and then you push it, and then you roll it. Well, I'm basically doing that with the mat. So I'm pulling on it this way, and then I'm brushing it downward. And you just keep doing that. It's a very slow process. Almost got it completely out now. The ears are a little tricky. You got to change the direction of the ears a little bit. I'm barely touching her skin. If you drag a brush along their skin over and over and over again, whether it's this kind of brush or any kind of brush or a comb, what'll happen is the skin starts to look really red and almost like it's bleeding. So sometimes I've seen in my Maltese Beloved Pets group that someone brought their dog home from the groomer and it had like blood marks on it, kind of like if you fall on your bike and you crash and you get a red mark. Well, that's kind of what the brush does to their skin. So you don't want to be brushing right up against the skin. You basically want to try to keep it away from the skin if you can. Okay, so let me see if I got all the mat out. Okay, so that ear looks like it's pretty good. Next, I'm going to move on to her leg. Okay, number one place they get matted is behind their elbow right here because they're resting their elbow. It's rubbing against their body. Okay, so they get matted there. So this is a bit tricky, but what we're going to do is like I said, we're going to first try to go through it with the brush. Okay, and then if that doesn't work, then we're going to come in with a slicker brush. So she's got a mat right there, right underneath her armpit. And I'm going to go, it doesn't matter which direction you go. You can go up. Do you see the size of the mat there? So you can go up. You basically want to spread the mat out, spread the coat out so you can see the mat where it's at. Now, some people, if they have not a silky coat, but they have a very cottony, curly, tight coat, you might have to use a mat breaker, and that's what this is. Oh yes, it's very, very sharp. This is the part that goes against the dog's skin. This is the part that cuts the mat, okay? Obviously, show breeders try their very hardest not to use something like that because it'll cut the coat. But if it's a pet and they're short and they have mats, you just run it along the skin and you lift up and it gets the mats out, okay? Then you would take your comb and you would just get the remainder of the mat out. So, does anybody have any questions so far? I have not used cornstarch. Hi, Tricia. Is cornstarch a good trick? I have not used that. Tricia does professional grooming, so perhaps she can enlighten us. Or is that something you heard people use? Okay, so I'm just going to keep working on this. Okay. Tricia helps me run my Maltese Beloved Pets group, which is over 8,000 people now. So I have 8,000 people on this page, 8,000 people on my Maltese Beloved Pet page, group, I should say. So we have a lot of people that we're helping. And I figured, well, when I was getting started, there wasn't a whole lot of people that helped me. So whether it's show people or pet people, it's always good to help each other out. I do sell some grooming products in my store. What I am going to be doing is I am going to be adding an area that you can go to see on Amazon my favorite grooming products. And I'm going to name it Carrie's Favorite Things because I might be adding stuff on there besides grooming things. Oh, okay, it works good to loosen the mat. Thank you for sharing, Tricia. I'd never heard of that. Okay, so I'm going to work on her other leg. If you're just joining us, go ahead and comment below with any questions you might have, comments, concerns. This is Maybelline. A lot of people know that, Maybelline. Everybody knows who you are, huh? Some people don't know. Okay, so underneath her armpit here, I can lift the leg up. If I lift her leg up, now I've got the camera too close, I think. Okay, so if I lift her leg up, kind of like she's giving me a high five, that makes it a little easier to get to underneath here where the armpit is. How to groom your Maltese on average? Do you brush them every day? Do you brush them once a week? And when you brush them, how long does it usually take you? Does it take an hour? A lot of people don't realize. Yeah, thank you, Donna. You always use the spray. What's your favorite kind of spray? I like the Crown Royal, but Pure Paws has excellent products. I've sold their product for years in my site, Doggy Bow. So we've almost got her totally dematted. She's not screaming. She's not crying. Her skin doesn't look all scuffed up. Right? You good girl. Maybelline's a good girl. She keeps herself so clean. I mean, she has like no staining on her feet, nothing, because she's constantly keeping herself clean. So all of you that are on here, I am going to be having another drawing this week. And everybody that comments, likes, comments, or shares, I'm going to put the link below for the entry. I will be giving away a Pure Paws pin brush that has crystals on it. So I'm going to show that to you guys at the end of the live video here. It's fun to give stuff away. Oh, Hispana Silk. Yes. I remember them. They were at that show, that meetup that we went to, Tricia. Okay, so now I'm doing her back legs. Another thing they do is they chew on their tail. The tail is another area. So I'm just working on dematting her. Maybelline, are you being a good girl? Yeah, smell is important to me too, Donna. Thanks for sharing. You have 4 Maltese girls now? Why don't you guys share a picture below? Donna, go ahead and post a picture below. I bet they are so cute. I have 2, and that's a lot of work. So, Donna, kudos to you having 4. That's a lot of work, but they are sweet, aren't they? So here's her tail all matted up. The tail is tricky. Yeah, she's being a good girl. So the tail doesn't have a lot of hair. So I definitely don't want to use the mat breaker unless I absolutely have to, because there's not a lot of extra. So I'm holding the tail up. I'm not even touching the tail base. I'm just working on the hair. If you guys find this useful, go ahead and share it, please. Tag your friends in the comments below. Let's get the message out. I'm here to help you guys. Doggy Bow isn't just bows for sale. I'm here to help. So if you enjoy Maltese and you're not already in my group, go ahead and join the Maltese Beloved Pets group. It's an 8,000 person group. A lot of good feedback there. A lot of people interacting and helping each other through sad times and through good times. You know, when they get their new puppy, they have a lot of questions. Almost got the mats out here. Some people cut their Maltese down because they don't have time for this, but it really doesn't take very long, okay? It might take, 20, 30 minutes. We've been going at this, let's see, how long have we been online here? I don't even know. But it doesn't take that long to brush them out. Sometimes they just don't have a very soft, silky coat, and so it's more work than it's worth. It's stressful for the dog if you're constantly dematting them. But overall, oh, you might have to do it afterwards, Donna. I'm sorry. You might have to post it afterwards. Yeah, I don't know how it works I guess on a cell phone. If you're watching live, you can't add it just yet. But after it posts, then you can go back and... So if you're watching this video afterward, the reason I came up with the thought, I put out a survey. If you haven't done my survey, go ahead and do it. I wanted some feedback of what people are interested in and how I could help. And the number one thing of grooming was dematting. So that's why I started off teaching about dematting. So I want to show you. I've gotten her tail is dematted now. So what I would do is I would go back in there and get all the little wispies out. Okay. Just to get them all out. Oh, she's still got one more right there. So the comb will kind of tell you if there's any remainders in there. You can't always feel it with the brush, but the comb will help. I kind of hold her leg up like this. Some people have a grooming table, some people don't, so it's just easy to just stick them on the coffee table, or if you're watching TV, you can demat them while you're watching TV. Yeah. Oh, yeah. My first Maltese had a coat like that, Tricia. Oh, my gosh. His coat was so bad. It was super curly, and so I know what you're saying, so it's easier to just keep them cut short. Or you have to put them in some kind of a detangler that prevents them from matting at all, and then they look like greasy. So I'm just working on her leg here. This is her favorite leg to lick and chew on. And I do give her stuff to chew on, like bones, not bones, but like chewy things to help her teeth. And so she does have some stimulation with chewing, but she still loves to groom herself like a cat. She has the most beautiful coat. If she wasn't doing this, I'd grow her coat back out. But when I grew her coat, I don't know if you guys have seen a picture. It was to the floor. I just regrew it for fun. She's so beautiful. Yeah, the comb doesn't lie. It's true. Absolutely true. So you think you're done, and then all of a sudden you bring the comb through, and it's like, it just puts the brakes on. What do you think, Maybelline? You're being a good girl, aren't you? I should have brought some treats up here. Okay. So, this is pretty much it. This is the process of dematting. So I'm just spritzing and brushing and brushing and brushing. And I see we have some people watching. Where are you guys watching from? Go ahead and tell me below where you guys are tuning in from. I love knowing where people are tuning in from. I know Tricia's in Minnesota. Where are you at, Donna? Almost got this leg done. Doesn't she just look... Maybelline. 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 Hey, are you stressed? Yeah, she's not stressed. She loves this attention. That's the mat you hear. That is not her skin. Let's see. Okay, who likes this? Who likes this brush? I'll show you the one I'm going to do the drawing for. Louisville, Kentucky. Awesome. Okay, so this is the brush that's going up for a giveaway. I will be launching the pictures and the entry later today. It's beautiful. It has Swarovski crystals on it. Purple Swarovski crystals. It's brand new. Wonderful brushes. They last and last and last. The pins don't fall out. They don't push in. Just a great product. So yeah, I'll set that there. So okay, so we're almost done with this back leg. Donna, do you like purple? Purple's like one of my favorite colors. My wall down in my office is painted purple. Okay, so we're almost done. So if you're just tuning in, go ahead and comment below, and you will be part of the group that gets entered into the contest to win that brush giveaway at the end of the week. Does anybody else have any other? Oh, it's your birthstone. Awesome. Okay. Well, you certainly would get your use out of it with your 4 girls, huh? Okay, so this leg is done, and her tail is done. Good job, Maybelline. And let me see. Did we do this ear? Scoot this way, honey. Okay. So now I'm going to check this other ear. This one's pretty good, I think. Oh. Do our check with our comb. Little matte, not too bad. Maybe we'll put some little braids in her ears real quick. She looks so cute when I braid her little ears. Okay, the ear hair. It's getting longer. Last year, maybe it was the beginning of this year, I shaved her and Isabella completely down just because it's so much easier and I'm so busy. And, you know, they actually looked really cute. Especially Isabella, she looked like a little chihuahua because she has a nice little apple head and she's really, really tiny. And so they looked really cute. It's a personal preference, but I thought they looked really cute. But then I get this desire, just like women, they cut their hair off and then they grow it back out and then they cut it up. Well, I do that. And then next thing you know, their hair is growing back out again. Okay? So she's totally dematted now. Now what we're going to do is we're going to put her ear hair into little braids, I think. So I've got my bands here. Let's see if I can find 2 pink ones. Okay, lay down, Maybelline. Lay down. Lay down. Yep, you got to lay down. Okay. So now I'm just going to put some fun little braids in her hair. Just for fun. Probably won't leave them in too long, but she looks cute. Oh, where I actually like a little more hair. The question Tricia was asking is, where do you start her top knot as opposed to her neck? Okay, so here's the thing. The further you cut the hair back, the less hair you have laying on top of the ears. So really, if you have real high ears that are real high based on the head, the problem is then the ears will start cropping up because there's no weight of the ear hair to hold the ears down. So basically what I do is I like to keep a little more of the hair. Sorry guys, it's hard to concentrate. And so basically at the top of the head here, here's her ears. I like the top knot to start up here so that this hair lays on top of the ears. If you cut it too far back, See how different it looks? There's not much ear hair, see? If I was to cut that off. So I like a little more hair that lays on top of the ears. You see that? You see the difference? So it gives a little more volume here on the top of the ear. It also gives more hair as it grows out, more weight to the ear to kind of hold the ear down, if that makes sense. So I hope that answers your question, Tricia. So it's really, let's see, it's right at the base of her skull is where I start, shaving down. So now I'm going to put her other ear in a braid here. This time it's a little easier because I'm not holding two bands. Hold still. Honey, lay down. Lay down. Good girl. Okay. So then we're just braiding her little ears. Ah, so cute. Show everybody your little braids. There she is. Okay. Does anybody else have any questions before I say goodbye for today? If you're just tuning in, go back and watch at the beginning of the video. I explain about dematting, where they typically mat, and the steps that I like to take to get the mats out. And hi. So I'm Carrie Peterson, and I'm from Doggy Bow, and I just wanted to let you know that the giveaway again today is going to be this beautiful brush. It's very lightweight, and I've had this one for a really, really long time. This brush has lasted me dozens and dozens of grooming sessions. The pins are still strong, and if you want to buy them, I'll be adding them to my store. You can let me know. They work very, very well. The other tool I was using was a slicker brush and a mat breaker, which I don't recommend using unless you absolutely have to. And then also I was using, I sell band removal scissors. Those are sold in my store as well. So those are the tools. And then, of course, I have greyhound combs. I'm going to be starting a little mini website. Actually, it's already built. I'll be putting it up. Oh, thank you, Anna. Welcome. So this is a mini greyhound comb. It's really nice for around the face. So when you're combing the face, it's easier to just handle it. And let me show you one more thing. I'm going to show you if you like a top knot that goes to the side, how you do that. So if you want the top knot to lay to the side, you're going to take a teeny tiny bit of hair in the front like this. And you're going to take like the size of a half moon. And you're going to put that in a band, okay? So I have a different kind of band here. These are really lightweight. These are show-off bands. The company's name is Show Off. And so I take a really lightweight band. This is a very fine band, very lightweight. And I put it like so in the front. So I'm not taking all the top knot here, I'm taking just part of it. And then I take the other part of the hair going to band that. You don't want to get too much of that ear hair in there because otherwise they will scratch at it more. Okay, so when I do this, it'll make the hair kind of lay to the side. It won't stick up like a pom-pom. It'll kind of lay to the side. So then you just take it and you just kind of pull it to the side like that. So whatever your preference is, some people like the little pom-pom. Most show breeders put it to the side like this when it's growing. It's cute. It's cute. It's kind of like wearing your hair to the side. So that's all I have to show for you guys today. But matting is definitely something that, you know, it's good to use a very high quality conditioning shampoo and conditioner like Pure Paws. And you want to make sure that the coat is moist, that there's moisture to moisturize the coat and add vitamins and minerals and stuff to the coat. And then what you want to do is make sure that you brush them out frequently. So the more frequently you brush them, the less mats they'll have. And always use something like, because a dry coat can break off, so you want to use a moisturizing detangling spray. This is Crown Royal, but this is the Ultra Finishing Spray by Pure Paws. And this is the Silk Basics Conditioning Spray by Pure Paws. And then, of course, if you have a really dry coat that's brittle, you could use the H2O. This also prevents matting if you put it in. So that's the tools that I have. And yeah, I just wanted to say thank you guys for joining us today. She's eating hair, I think. It's all good. Have a good evening, guys. Comment, like, share, comment below. It's been a pleasure seeing you guys. Take care. Bye-bye.